While I lay in the hospital, my cheating wife moved her lover into my home. She never saw my revenge coming. The beeping of the machines was the only sound in my hospital room. I had been there for nearly 3 weeks, recovering from a car accident that almost killed me. My ribs were broken, my leg was shattered, and every breath felt like a punishment. But the real pain wasn't physical. It was the betrayal that cut deeper than any wound. At first, Emily came every day. She held my hand, smiled at the nurses, played the perfect wife. I thought I was lucky to have her. But then her visits became less frequent. A day skipped here, an excuse there. Soon, she stopped coming altogether. When I asked the nurse if anyone had called to check on me, she shook her head. That was when I knew something wasn't right. My brother Mark visited often, and he was the one who finally broke the news. He sat by my bed, face grim, voice low. "Dan, I didn't want to tell you while you were still fragile, but she's not alone at the house." "What do you mean?" I asked, my stomach twisting. "She moved someone in. A man. I've seen him there. His car in the driveway. Lights on late at night. They're living together while you're stuck here." I felt like my heart stopped. All the pain of broken bones was nothing compared to that sentence. Emily hadn't just cheated. She had replaced me before I was even discharged. But lying in that hospital bed, I made a vow. If she thought she could erase me from my own life so easily, she had another thing coming. When I was finally discharged, Emily didn't even bother to pick me up. Mark drove me home. I sat in the passenger seat, staring out the window, rehearsing in my head the storm that was about to come. As we pulled into the driveway, my blood boiled. There it was, a car I didn't recognize, parked where mine used to be. Through the window, I could see shadows moving, laughter echoing faintly. My home, my sanctuary, was no longer mine. I didn't storm inside. Not yet. I needed a plan. Revenge, I decided, would be patient and thorough. I would take everything from her, piece by piece, until she was left with nothing but regret. The first step was quiet observation. I stayed at Mark's place for a while, pretending to be too weak to return home. Meanwhile, I hired a private investigator. Within a week, I had everything. Photos of Emily and her lover, receipts of dinners paid with my money, even proof that she had taken valuables from my house and pawned them. Every piece of evidence was another nail in the coffin she didn't even realize she was building for herself. Next came the legal side. Emily had always been careless with finances, leaving all documents and accounts under my control. She assumed that, as my wife, she was untouchable. She was wrong. With the evidence of her affair and abandonment, my lawyer assured me I could divorce her without losing the house or assets. In fact, with the right moves, I could make her responsible for damages, but I wasn't satisfied with just taking the house back. I wanted her to feel the humiliation she had made me feel. So, while the divorce papers were prepared, I let the world know. Quietly, of course. Friends, neighbors, even her parents heard the truth. Not from me directly, but from concerned whispers, screenshots that somehow found their way into the right hands. Emily's carefully polished image of the devoted wife shattered in days. The final act came when I returned to the house. I timed it perfectly, arriving in the evening when I knew they would both be there. I still had a key, one Emily hadn't thought to change. I walked in slowly, leaning on my cane, my leg still healing. They were in the living room, laughing, drinking wine from my collection. The moment Emily saw me, her face drained of color. "Dan, you're supposed to be gone?" I finished for her, my voice steady, calm. Her lover, a smug-looking man I'd never met, stood awkwardly, unsure of what to do. "This is my house," I said, looking around. "My furniture, my wine, my life, and you two decided to move in like squatters while I was fighting for mine in a hospital bed." Emily stammered, reaching for words. I was lonely. I raised my hand to silence her. "Don't bother. I know everything." And soon, so will the court." Her lover looked uneasy. He clearly hadn't signed up for legal battles or scandal. Within weeks, he was gone, leaving Emily alone. The divorce went exactly as planned. With the evidence of her infidelity and abandonment, she lost nearly everything: house, savings, even the car she drove. She walked away with nothing but shame and whispers that followed her everywhere. As for me, I rebuilt. Slowly, but with a peace I hadn't felt in years. People often ask me if I regret it. If I regret the marriage, the years wasted. And the truth is, no. Because in the end, her betrayal gave me clarity. It showed me who she truly was, and it gave me the strength to become someone stronger. Emily thought she had buried me when she moved her lover into my home. She thought she had won. But she never saw my revenge coming. And the best part? I never raised my voice, never lost my cool. I simply let her dig her own grave, then watched as she fell into it.